Shalom. Mrs. Gabriela David, Mr. Ariel David, Professor Yaron Oz, Rector, Tel Aviv University, Professor Eyal Zisser, Vice Rector of Tel Aviv University, Ms. Dorit Sussman, Head of Tel Aviv Youth University, Ms. Sharon Regev, Head of External Relations and Curriculum at Tel Aviv Youth University, Ambassador of Costa Rica to Israel, His Excellency Esteban Penrod Padilla, laureates of the 2019 Dan David Prize, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Welcome to the second part of the 2019 Dan David Prize Awards. Today's event is comprised of three elements: the Mia Fisher Scholarship Awards Ceremony, the Young Researchers Scholarship Awards Ceremony, and the Name Your Hero Youth Essay Competition Awards Ceremony. שלום וברוכים הבאים לטקס הענקת מלגות על שם דן דוד לשנת 2019. לטקס הענקת פרסים לתלמידים שזכו בתחרות Name Your Hero, ולטקס הענקת מלגה על שם מיה פישר. על מנת לאפשר לאורחים שאינם דוברי עברית לעקוב אחרי הטקס, הוא ינוהל ברובו בשפה האנגלית. The late Dan David, a Romanian-born businessman and philanthropist, created a prize to award those who have made outstanding contributions to humanity. Based at Tel Aviv University, this international prize is awarded each year in three different fields under the headings of past, present, and future. This year, the prize for the past time dimension is in the field of macro history. The prize for the present time dimension is in the field of defending democracy. And the prize for the future time dimension is in the field of combating climate change. Last night, as this year's laureates of the 2019 prize received their awards here on stage at Tel Aviv University, we celebrated their extraordinary achievements. We marveled at the two macro historians, Professor Kenneth Pomeranz and Professor Sanjay Subramaniam, for the depth of their expertise and ability to give us a broad, new understanding of our past. We admired Professor Michael Ignatieff for his lifelong defense of human rights and his ongoing fight for academic freedom as president of the Central European University. We saluted the work of the organization Reporters Without Borders, which safeguards journalists and freedom of the press all over the world. And we were in awe of the incredible achievement of Ms. Christiana Figueres in getting 195 countries to sign on the Paris Climate Change Agreement to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. But the prize is designed not only to celebrate established leaders in their fields. Dan David also wished to nurture excellence in the next generation, which is why he stipulated that 10% of the prize must be donated to support young doctoral and postdoctoral researchers from all over the world. He later added the Name Your Hero essay competition for high school students. But before we honor the recipients of these two awards, I would like to invite to the stage Mrs. Gabriela David, also known as Gabby.
Hello to all. Can you hear me? I don't hear myself. Okay. Good afternoon to all of you. Laureates of the Dan David Prize, Scholarship winners and the winners of the Name Your Hero competition, their teachers, their families. I always remember how this ceremony was Dan's favorite event. The awards ceremony of the main Dan David Prize, which held yesterday, was certainly beautiful and important in his eyes. But he was always happy and supportive to be able to give the young people, through the scholarship and the Name Your Hero competition. He always felt more comfortable in this informal environment. He would immediately blend in, chatting and laughing with the students, taking off his jacket and remove his tie, slipping on a Name Your Hero t-shirt on top of his shirt. Dan is no longer here to celebrate the great joy and potential that he saw in all young people, but we try to continue his work. The first scholarship we are awarding today is not directly connected to the Dan David Prize and actually predates it. When I met Dan in 1979, he was a widower who had recently lost his wife, Mia Fischel. I remember that after our first date over coffee, I went to my parents' home and told my mother about the man I had just met. He speaks a lot of languages. He loves to ride on bicycles, and he has sad eyes like those of a Cocker Spaniel. As time passed, we married, had a son, Ariel. He's sitting right here. And we had a beautiful life together. And I think that those Cocker Spaniel eyes became much happier. I do believe so. But Mia was not forgotten. And to remember her, Dan established a scholarship here at the Tel Aviv University. Mia was a shrewd and intelligent businesswoman. She and Dan built together their business venture in fields of photography together. They worked together, created together, and made their thoughts and ideas into reality. That is why Dan wished for the scholarship to be dedicated to young female scholarship in business administration, to remember Mia, but also to help foster a new generation of women like her. So, I'm now delighted to call on stage Miss Vered Kurz. Where's Vered? There she is. And doctoral student at the Leon Recanati School of Business Administration at the Faculty of Management at Tel Aviv University to receive the scholarship. Allow me to add and emphasize that Ms. Kurz is receiving this award for the second time in a row. Wow. My compliments. Very. שנה שנייה. כן. ילדה גדולה.
Thank you, Charlotte and Gabriela. Can you hear me? Charlotte and Gabriela for this Gabby, for this lovely introduction. I also thank the rector and everyone here this evening. As Gabby said, this is the second time I'm here, still excited and humble. Charlotte asked me to talk this time about my own path. So, when I was in the 6th grade, my math teacher asked us a question in geometry, probably a difficult one. I raised my hand and gave the right answer. In response, my teacher told me to call her and update her the day I get my PhD. I was very embarrassed. I blushed and said nothing, but her words stayed with me. A note to all the teachers here this evening, your words definitely mean something. Fast forward 15 years later, I worked at a strategic consulting firm and I didn't really enjoy it. I hesitated over whether I should quit my job and follow the goal I set to myself 15 years back. I wanted to challenge myself, but at the same time I struggled to make a decision. I have to admit, as for someone whose research is about decision-making, I'm pretty bad at this. I needed a lot of encouragement to go for it from my then boyfriend, who is now my husband and father of my daughter. I enrolled in class, but did not have much expectations. I didn't think I would have any chance to pursue an academic career. I thought it would be too hard and competitive. But it turned out that I really enjoyed what I was doing, the research itself. I've decided to keep doing what I do and simply do the best research I can do. And then I became a mom to cute Ellie, who is now 7 months old, and the self-doubts returned. Can I do it all? Can I have a demanding career in academia with lots of travel and endless devotion, and at the same time be a great mom? But then I started to get positive feedback. My first paper was published well. I was accepted to a prestigious conference, and of course, this scholarship, this year and last year. And so now I have decided to go on a postdoc. I don't know if my difficulty making decisions is personal or is a gender issue. I truly believe women are more hesitant in taking chances with their lives. But I hope my words here this evening might give a little push to another girl in the audience. I'm grateful for this great scholarship. It is a sign for me I'm going in the right direction, that I can do it, that I have to keep on doing what I do, except for maybe less hesitations. Thank you.
I have to improvise now. Some of you do not know, I am not only a member of the board and a Dan David wife, I'm also a student at the university. I'm on my 3rd year, and I think I see one of my teachers, my professors. She won the scholarship on the Dan David Prize, and that helped her for her doctorate. And she's a marvelous professor. I will not make more. She will think that I'm influencing, but I'm happy she's here. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Vered, and of course, thank you, Gabby. As we proceed to the Young Researchers Scholarship part of today's ceremony, I would like to invite to the stage the 2019 Dan David Prize laureates. Professor Kenneth Pomeranz, Professor Sanjay Subramaniam, Professor Michael Ignatieff, Mr. Christophe Doulois, who is representing the organization Reporters Without Borders, and the Costa Rican ambassador, who is representing his compatriot, Ms. Cristiana Figueres, who unfortunately couldn't be here today. But before we award the scholarships, I'd like to invite Professor Yaron Oz, Rector of Tel Aviv University, to deliver his address.
Mrs. Gabi David, a student, 3rd year in Tel Aviv University. Mr. Ariel David, you graduated already. Professor Yossi Klafter, Mrs. Pechia Klafter, Professor Eyal Zisser, Professor Itamar Rabinovich, lots of people, distinguished people, and our Dan David Prize laureates, young researchers, high school students, family members, dear guests. We live in a rapidly changing environment with an exponentially growing amount of data, And in such an environment, the young generation faces countless new challenges, as well as numerous opportunities. The task of preparing for the future is complex. Mentoring and collaborations are necessary in order to prepare them for tomorrow's world, and role models are crucial. The essays, we are going to hear about these essays later, written by the high school students, offer wonderful insights into how role models from different parts of the world and from different disciplines influence ways of thinking, imaginations, ambition, and dreams. One measure of an institution's success is whether its alumni succeed in work and life. Measuring and reporting outcomes are becoming expected responsibilities of colleges and universities to ensure that they are living up to the ideals embodied in their mission statements. In fact, Gallup polls conducted in 2014 and 2018 provided analytics and reports to colleges and universities. One crucial finding underlined the importance of mentors who care about students. It implies that graduates who were emotionally supported during college, those who had at least one professor who got them excited about learning, a teacher who cared about them as individuals, and a mentor who encouraged them to pursue their own goals, had doubled the odds of becoming engaged in their work and almost 3 times the probability of thriving in their overall well-being. Looking ahead, we know that in the future, the university learning experience will be very different and very challenging. It will be based on combination of distance learning, flipped classes, and teaching on campus. Substantial use will be made of innovative learning tools based on knowledge gained from brain research, such as done in Tel Aviv University. Considerable thought will be given to understanding the cognitive changes occurring within the student population and adapting the learning methods to their needs and abilities. And here at Tel Aviv University, our task is to foster talent and prepare the next generation of leaders, not only in exact sciences, technology and engineering, but also in social sciences, humanities and arts, to instill moral values, empathy and responsibility for minorities, for challenged populations, and for the future. These values are crucial for establishing a flourishing society. Dear high school students, each one of the heroes you chose to write about carries with him or her moral values and deep sense of responsibility. Each is a bright light that illuminates, inspires, and bonds together countless human lives. Dear young researchers, recipients of the Dan David Scholarships, first, congratulations. Today you are joining the highly esteemed family of Dan David Scholars. You are the promising young generation that will take our society to the next level. Follow your dreams and seek to become mentors of other young people who are not sure how to pursue theirs or their own dreams. Be devoted to science, truth, and life, and follow Benjamin Disraeli's advice. The greatest good you can do for another is not just to share your riches, but also to reveal to him his own. Congratulations again, and thank you.
Thank you, Professor Oz. Today's scholarship recipients were selected by an academic committee headed by the Vice Rector of Tel Aviv University, Professor Eyal Zisser, and comprised of Professor Ori Cheshnovsky, the prize's scientific advisor, and senior faculty members who are experts in this year's chosen fields. I'd like to thank the committee for their work in selecting the most worthy candidates from the many dozens of applications we received. Half of the recipients are scholars at Tel Aviv University and half are from elsewhere. But it should be noted that the main criterion for selection is always academic excellence. It's become a tradition that the Dan David Prize laureates award the scholarships in their respective fields, and we will start with the pastime dimension and the field of macrohistory. Professor Pomerantz will award the scholarship to Ms. Avital Ginat. Avital is from the Chaim Rosenberg School of Jewish Studies and Archaeology at Tel Aviv University, and she's writing her doctorate on the perception of England in this part of the world during the British Mandate. Professor Pomeranz will also award the scholarship to Mr. Gil Haklai. He's also from the Chaim Rosenberg School of Jewish Studies and Archaeology at Tel Aviv University, and his doctorate focuses on the transition to rectangular architecture in the Neolithic Levant. Professor Subramaniam will award the scholarship to Dr. Shira Wilkoff of the Tzvi Yavitz School of Historical Studies at Tel Aviv University. Her postdoctoral studies focus on the post-war search for environmental internationalism in Israel. Thank you, Professor Pomeranz and Professor Subramaniam. Scholarships in this category have also been awarded to Dr. Gabriel Bing of Clare Hall, Cambridge University, Ms. Stephanie Anna Florin of the School of Social Science at the University of Queensland, Mr. Jaeyong Jung from the Department of History at the University of Chicago, and Mr. Michael Sullivan from the Department of History at the University of California, Los Angeles. Moving on to the present time dimension and the field of defending democracy, Professor Ignatieff will award the scholarships to Dr. Attila Meraz. He studies at the Edmund J. Safra Center for Ethics at Tel Aviv University, and his postdoctoral studies focus on what he calls horizontal challenges to democracy. Professor Ignatieff will also award the scholarship to Mr. Omer Solodoch. He's from the Department of Political Science in the Faculty of Social Sciences at Tel Aviv University, and his doctorate looks at the impact of policy on public opposition to immigration. Mr. Dilwar will award the scholarship to Ms. Karen Umansky of the Department of Public Policy in the Faculty of Social Sciences at Tel Aviv University, and she's focusing on the new radical right in European politics. Thank you, Professor Ignatieff and Mr. Dilwar. Scholarships in this category have also been awarded to Mr. Jonathan Mark Deming from the Department of Political Science at the University of Chicago, Mr. Elvin Ong from the Institute of Asian Research at the University of British Columbia, Dr. Samia Saxena from the Faculty of History at Jesus College, Cambridge. Finally, we move to the future time dimension and the field of combating climate change. The Costa Rican ambassador, His Excellency Esteban Penrod Padilla, will award scholarships for the future time dimension in the field of combating climate change. The first goes to Ms. Patricia Akau. She's from the Portland School of the Environment and Earth Sciences at Tel Aviv University, and she's studying the utilization of microalgae for the removal of organic compounds from wastewater. Ms. Yudit Lax, also from the Portland School of the Environment and Earth Sciences at Tel Aviv University. She's looking at hydro electricity as a possible source for renewable energy in humid zones. Ms. Daly Rodriguez Padron from the Department of Organic Chemistry at the University of Cordoba. Her studies focus on the design of bio-nanomaterials and their application in energy storage. Daly has travelled to Tel Aviv from Spain, especially to collect her award today. Mr. Erez Perry from the Porter School of Environment and Earth Studies at Tel Aviv University. His doctorate looks at how zoning wind turbines can maximise their benefits to society. Erez was unable to attend today. Here to accept the scholarship on his behalf is his mother, Professor Dorit Pud. Mr. Tom Schlesinger from the Department of Zoology at Tel Aviv University. His studies focus on how to better protect coral reefs from climate change. Ms. Zali Chung from the Academy of Mathematics and Systems Science at the Chinese Academy of Science. She is studying carbon emissions and sustainable transition in China. Zali has come to Tel Aviv from China, especially to collect her award today. And we're very happy to see Dame Shirley Porter here. And now I know why you've come, because there's so many students from the Porter School of Environment and Earth Sciences received awards. So congratulations. And we're very happy to see that you're sitting next to outgoing President Yossi Klafter. Thank you, Mr. Ambassador. A scholarship in this category has also been awarded to Mr. Solomon Ubahunje of the Department of Atmospheric Physics at the Felix Houphouët-Boigny University in the Ivory Coast. I would now like to invite Dr. Attila Meraz to address the audience on behalf of the scholarship recipients.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Attila Meraz, and I'm a postdoctoral researcher at this university's Edmund J. Seffer Center for Ethics at the Bookman Faculty of Law. I'm one of the 20 Dan David Scholarship recipients in this year, and it is my honor to speak on behalf of this really diverse group of doctoral and postdoctoral researchers. From the history of Australian plant food through opposition politics in seeming democracies, to wastewater reduction and renewable energy, to only pick a few, we pursue a wide range of research topics that are meant to represent, in the words of the founder of this scholarship, Mr. Dan David, the flow of what human knowledge in every field has been in the past, is in the present, and will be in the future. On behalf of all of us, I would first like to say thank you. Thank you to the Dan David Foundation. Thank you to the Dan David family. Thank you to the Scholarship Committee, to the staff members who all made it possible for us to be here. thank you not only for the generous award that allows us to pursue research that matters to us and we hope to the world. Thank you also for forging a community of like-minded young researchers from all over the world who pursue passionately answers to related questions. Thank you, now talking on my behalf, to my partner, parents, mentors, friends, and all have supported me personally in these pursuits. I cannot do justice to the breadth of research that my fellow scholars represent. But let me say a couple of words about a topic that keeps me engaged and which aligns with this year's present dimension, defending democracy. It's a topic that gives all of us a headache, I think, wherever we live and whatever we believe in. Democracies value freedom of speech. There's no democracy without allowing the many opinions, values, perspective that we hold dear to be voiced and heard, shown, and seen. As Israeli writer and Dan David Prize laureate Amos Oz beautifully put it, we are different not because some of us has not yet seen the light, but because there are, in fact, many different lights in the world. Lights, not the light. Beliefs and opinions, not belief and opinion. Election campaigns, political debates on TV and the social media should be places where all these beliefs and opinions shed light on the realities that we need to face together. Yet many of our political leaders, or those who aspire to lead rather than serve us, use political speech as an opportunity to blind us to realities instead of illuminating them. Democracies do not function well when political speech is too often used to deceive and mislead us, voters. This leads to fundamental questions about democracy. How can we reconcile free speech and voters' informed decision-making? How can we ensure one leads to the other rather than undermining the other? How can we reduce deception and misleading in politics without silencing all the valuable disputes in a community? The Scholarship Award helps me to pursue these questions too. For a legal and political theorist conducting research in Israel, though, the world out there is not just one of the many possible views one could have from one's office window. While my research focuses on law and reason in democratic, pluralistic politics, this region teaches me a lot about how pluralism should not be taken as granted, how much courage it sometimes takes to see it as an opportunity rather than a threat, and how dealing with the politics of different histories, traditions, emotions, inevitably shapes law and democratic life as much as reason does. It is the work of politics to discover shared understandings, to shed the lights, to show the lights in the different perspectives that allow us to progress together as communities. My credo has been, there's no good politics without good law. Now I'm more certain than ever before that there's no good law without good politics either. I'm grateful for this understanding, which I'll take with me wherever I go. Last but by no means least, let me share with you how honored I feel to be awarded a scholarship in the theme of defending democracy, when in the same theme, Professor Ignatieff, President and Rector of Central European University, my own alma mater, is one of the laureates of the Dan David Prize. That university, where I pursued my doctoral studies, profoundly shaped the person and researcher I am today, and the kind of city Budapest, both my and CEU's most permanent home so far, has been. Homes are almost never entirely permanent. Still, history has shown that leaders, ideas, even empires may come and go, but universities, communities of free and responsible thinkers who live in understanding and progress, are here to stay with us. We, Dan David scholars, are one such community. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Attila. This concludes the scholarship part of today's ceremony, and we thank our laureates for their participation. You may return to your seats.